My dad never said I love you.
I don't remember my dad ever saying, I love you. Not once, not in passing, not during birthdays, not even when I left for college or when he dropped me at the airport, suitcase in hand, alone and terrified of the world. And yet, now that he's gone, I've never felt more loved in my life. Growing up, my dad was hard to read. He wasn't mean. He wasn't cruel. He just wasn't expressive. While other dads hugged their kids at soccer games or told them they were proud, my dad would stand at the back, arms folded, eyes scanning like a watchman. He was always there, but never present. He'd fix my bike, but never ask about school. He'd make sure there was dinner, but eat his own quietly in front of the TV. He paid the bills, took us to church, changed the oil in my car without asking, but never, ever said the words I secretly ached to hear. I love you, son. I thought maybe something was wrong with him or with me. Maybe he just didn't feel it. Maybe I had to earn it. So I tried. Good grades, good behavior, good kid. I tried to be everything he'd be proud of. But even when I got a scholarship, even when I became the first in our family to graduate college, he just nodded and said, "Good, you're supposed to." When I got my first job in another city, he helped me move. He drove the whole way without much talk, unloaded boxes without a word, and then said before leaving, "Keep your tires full. Don't let the tank go under half. City roads can be rough." I said, "Thanks, Dad." He just nodded, got in the car, drove away. And just like that, he disappeared again into the quiet space of being a father without the words. Years passed, I moved up, got busy, life took over. I called home now and then, mostly to talk to Mom. She'd say, "Your father's here," and I'd hear his voice in the background. Tell him to check his brakes. Ask him if he's getting enough sleep. He'd never get on the phone, never ask about work or love or life, but he asked in his own way. I just didn't know how to listen. Then, one winter, I got the call no child is ready for. Mom said, "Your dad collapsed. The doctors say it's his heart." I flew home, walked into that sterile room, and saw the man who had always stood tall, fragile, asleep, hooked to machines. He looked so small, and I broke. I held his hand for the first time in years. He didn't wake up that night. The next morning, he was gone. In the days after his death, I went through his things. It was mostly garage stuff, tools, receipts, boxes labeled in sharp block handwriting. Then I found something that stopped me. A small, dented lunchbox. Inside, old notes, pictures of me as a kid. One was from my first grade drawing class. I'd drawn a stick figure of him holding my hand and written, "My hero," in crooked letters. He kept that for over 2 decades. There were notes Mom had written him, doctor appointments for me he never told me about, copies of my school certificates, even a printed out email I'd sent during college just saying I missed home. He kept everything. And suddenly, All those moments flashed back. The way he always checked my tires before a drive, how he stood guard at every school event, the quiet dinners, the way he left the flashlight in my car trunk just in case. I realized my father did say I love you. He just never used words. Love for him was not poetic. It was practical. It was making sure the doors were locked at night. It was filling my gas tank when I wasn't looking. It was making sure I always had a jacket when the weather dropped below 50. It was waking up at 4 a.m. to drive me to the airport in silence. It was sacrificing and never calling it that. I remember once I asked him why he never bought anything for himself. He shrugged. What do I need? And that was it. Turns out what he needed, what he wanted, was for his family to be okay. His version of I love you was quiet, consistent, unshakable presence. And isn't that what love really is? We live in a world where love is fireworks, grand gestures, dramatic confessions. But some people love like gravity, invisible, constant, holding you up without needing thanks. My dad was like that. At his funeral, I gave the eulogy. I didn't know what to say at first, but then I told a story about the time I was 9 and had a nightmare. I screamed in the middle of the night, woke the whole house. Mom rushed in first, followed by Dad, half asleep, tool belt still on because he had just come home from the night shift. I was crying. I didn't want to sleep alone. Without a word, Dad lay down on the floor next to my bed. Didn't say anything, just stayed until I fell asleep. Years later, I realized he was tired, bone tired, but he stayed. That's love. No speech, no drama, just there. I never said I love you to him either. Not once. I always thought I had time. Time to grow up. Time to understand him. Time to say the words. But time isn't generous. And neither is regret. So, this story is my late apology, my delayed thank you, my finally spoken, I love you too, Dad. If your father's still around, tell him, even if he doesn't say it back, even if he just grunts and nods and tells you to check the oil. Trust me, he heard you. And if he's gone, like mine, carry his love forward in how you treat others, in how you show up, in the quiet things you do for people you love. Because love doesn't always sound like a song. Sometimes it sounds like a car engine starting at 6 a.m., a note in your lunchbox, a warm dinner on the table, a dad standing in the background, just in case. This was a story from Still Human, a place where emotions are raw, stories are real, and we remind each other that we're not alone in what we feel. If this reminded you of someone you miss, someone you love, or someone you never quite understood, hit that subscribe button. Let's keep telling stories that remind us